Ay, magandang gabi. Pakisabi na lang po kung may audio tayo. Check ko lang po yung comments ninyo. Magandang gabi kay Sir Tony Baldo, kay Dross Simply, Brian Miguel Lusono, Emily Ann Bacolod. I'm on my treadmill ha kasi wala po akong oras na to exercise and then do all live also. Hindi, wala lang. Sayang yung oras kasi. So, if you will notice, di ba minsan nag-vlog ako in the car, and then sometimes I also do that in the, when I'm out. So ngayon, just decided na para hindi sayang yung oras while I'm like, but to tell you the truth, sometimes hindi ako makapag-vlog because there's just not enough time. Hindi ako makapag-live because there's just not enough time. So I decided today lang to see if it's going to work kung kaya ko mag-vlog while on the treadmill. So pasensya na po ha if I'm slightly breathless. Ayan. Um, Tama, dapat daw i-update yung opening title. Totoo yun. Kasi ginawa yan ni Attorney Ahmed at ni JP nung wala ako. Uy, magandang gabi kay Jacob, Lakay Video, Dexter Baranda, Wanya Ete, Ma'am Christine Ong, Ma'am Veronica Gulfan, Ross Simply, ano daw treadmill ko? What treadmill ko yan? Hindi ko alam. I just ordered it on Shopee, but it's the one where meron siyang, how do you call this? Parang conveyor belt, and you walk on that belt. Sabi, perfect timing, sabi ni Brian. Just been looking at your group pics with Senator Unity pa rin. Keeping fit para masarap din ang tulog mamaya. Well, actually, that's true, and that's why I'd like to encourage everybody to move. Yun yung sinasabi rin. Kasi is that it helps with your brain health and mental health. And a lot of the doctors are saying na, exercise, if you tend to get depressive, exercise will provide you a means to give yourself a shot of, of happy hormones. So, yan, huwag pong kakalimutan, like and share po natin. And don't forget to follow our Facebook page. At saka, paki-help naman and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Malapit na rin po tayo. Sayang naman yung silver play button. Good evening din kay Ma'am Belen. She's watching from London. Sabi ni Ma'am Sharon, multitasking. Di ba kasi ibang mga vloggers, yung iba nagti-TikTok sila or whatever, when they're cooking or doing something else. And then, at the same time, talking about something else completely. So, I'm trying to get my heart rate up to about 112 para sa weight loss. Yan. Sabi ni Jex, di ba daw nakakapagod yan? Well, this is the first time I'm flying yet, so why not? We'll see. Well, of course, nakakapagod ang exercise. Isn't that the point? Sabi ni Kenji, grabe, very hardworking ka talaga. No, really, kasi I like to have large chunks of time to read. Yung tuloy-tuloy na basa. So for everything else, I like to see if I can multitask. So yung mga ganito, di ba? Pwede na tayo mag-multitasking na ganito. Now, if you hear something like medyo maingay, nagwe-welding yata si Attorney Ahmed. So, I can yell at him if the noise becomes too loud for you. Just let me know. Okay. Sabi ni Sir Francis, sabay-sabay tayo hingalin. Sorry if I get a little breathless. It's really just not enough time. So anyway, I wanted to talk about yung mga ganitong noise. And naalala ko to because we were, nagchichikahan kami with Senator Amy yesterday. Yes, I'm sure you saw the pictures. And I'm sure a lot of people have made comments, both good and bad. Para sa akin, okay lang yung mga comments, good and bad. But, I'd like to always remind people that you must act with fairness. So, kung inis kayo, kung nagagalit kayo, that's fine. I understand that. And I won't comment on your opinions about us or about congregating or about talking with whoever it is that we're talking to. But I would like to call for some kind of sobriety. There's some people na ganadong makipag-away. And I don't know where this is coming from. So, ang ano ko lang is, okay, sige, I understand your emotions. And I understand, that sometimes we tend to post ng knee-jerk reaction. Pero, in the end, can we just be fair with each other? We don't have to agree. We don't even have to like each other. There's no rule against not liking somebody. But can't we be fair in our comments or strive to do it anyway? Sabi ni na kay video, yung ibang vlogger nga kumakain habang nag-vlog or commentary, iba naman kaya activities. Hindi sa totoo lang, I just really don't have time. And if I don't do this, mawawala yung ano ko, yung winning streak ko, kumbaga. Alam niyo ba? Haha, isa pa to. Affected din ako. When I first bought this treadmill, nag-post ako sa Facebook that I got a treadmill. Aba, may nagsabi ba naman sa akin na na gagawin mo lang sampayan yan. Or mga ano yan, aanikabukin lang yan dyan sa bahay mo. Hala, challenge accepted. So, ngayon, I try to use it as much as possible. If only to show people na hindi, gagamitin ko to. Hindi ito nakaparking lang sa bahay ko at hindi ko siya gagawing sampayan lang. So, base sa kakabasa ko kay Google, mas maganda ang pagsusunog ng fat habang naglalakad kaysa takbo. Sa pagtakbo ay muscles ang nasusunog. Oo, and syempre, as we get older, we don't also want, parang healthy vlogger ako, no? We also don't want to cause damage. Sa kagustuhan natin to get healthier, we also want to cut down on the possibility of damaging, causing long-term damage, wearing out our knees and things like that. So, sabi ni Diyos, simply gain 10 kilos in 1 year here in Pampanga. Sarap ng food. Ay nako, sinabi mo. I'm always in Clark because the people that I have to talk to there for work. Tapos, I always find some new place. Lalo na sa Koreatown, hindi pa ako nauubos dyan. But there's a favorite place I go to there for the chicken. Better than bonchon. Sarap na sarap ako dun sa yung ano bang tawag dun sa chicken na yan? Soy garlic chicken. Love that. Sabi ni Musa Abetria, maganda din yung high-intensity intervals, yung sobrang bilis po mag-treadmill but short period of time, 10 seconds, then rest 1 minute, then repeat. Pero okay din po yung moderate lang. Sa ngayon, moderate lang kasi hindi ko kakayanin yung sinasabi niyo. Although I'm willing to try that at least once in my life. But normally, nag-high intensity ako for 30 minutes. And then get your heart rate up to a certain range for fat burning. Tapos after that, yung mga stretches na and if I have time, weight bearing exercises. Now, hindi po nagkaka-epekto dun sa figure ko because I'm still fat, pero I'm trying to get into the into the rhythm of it. And yung getting to the point na hinahanap na ng katawan ko yung physical activity. So, for me, nag-work yung mga binigyan ako ng Apple Series 8 na relo which monitors things like heart rate, amount of time that you sleep, gano'n. But mostly I've been using it for the fitness app. You don't have to get something like this for a fitness app or a fitness type watch. Kasi ang dami ng mura sa Shopee na if the point is to just monitor your exercise routine, your sleep, and your heart rate, ang daming mas mura. Sabi ni Christine, sabay niya rin si Yoshi. Yoshi's at the vet. He got into a fight and needs to get stitches. I was really upset. That's another reason kung bakit nawalan ako ng oras kanina because I was worried about him. But the vet says he'll be okay. Hindi niyo lang siya maririnig ngayon. Sabi ni King, nagbo-basketball pa din po ba kayo? Nagbabasketball ako dati. High school. I still used to play in college and a little bit after that. But admittedly, not recently, and I'm sure I'm very slow na now. Pero yes, that was my sport in high school. I was on the varsity team sa Marinol. When I was in the US, I tried out, I passed naman sa basketball, pero kulang, hindi ko kaya yung time management ng mga athletes, yung mga tinatawag namin na lettermen, yung mga nag-letter na sila, they gained the letter on their letterman's jacket already for outstanding achievements in their sport. Hindi ko kaya yon kasi we spend so many hours after school at practice and all that. Hindi ko kinaya. Hi kay Zeph, sabi niya matagal na daw siya hindi nakakanood sa live, puro na lang daw replay. Buti naman nakaabot ka ngayon. Sabi ni Seth Roth, sabayan ng intermittent fasting. Actually, yes. That's what I do, but I failed today. Kasi yung normally I don't eat dinner. Pero kanina yung dinner was pinakbet and fried galunggong. I cannot resist really yung fried galunggong. I eat nearly everything except the spine and the tail. I even eat the head. Basta maganda yung pagkaluto. So, fail yung diet ko today. So, hindi pwedeng makalimutan yung exercise. Hindi pwedeng ipaubaya yun. Sabi ni Brian, have you ever tried yoga? Yes, I have. Pero I don't have the time to have regular classes. And although I have friends who are actually trained in India, and they're masters, they teach you, they're so immersed in it na parang nakakahiya if I don't maintain it. So, I would like to, siguro when I have more time. But right now, ito lang talaga yung oras ko. And pagka ganito, I wish there were so many gyms that had 24 hours na pwede ka pumunta at any time. No? Sabi ni Ma'am Ignacia Pastor, try low-carb and intermittent fasting. Actually, from 2018, 2019, naka-intermittent fasting ako. And I lost 54 pounds. So dati, if you will notice, you look back at yung mga replays ng karambola from up to 2019, gano'n, all the way up to 2020, talagang lang ako, na natigil ako sa intermittent fasting when the pandemic hit. At nung nagka-lockdowns, and although I tried very, very hard to maintain the fasting, ang hirap because you're with your kids, you're with your family, there's so many opportunities to eat together, tapos nagpaplano pa kami kung anong i-deliver. Talaga, wala silang sira yung diet. And so now it's so hard to get back. But before, IF lang yung ginagawa ko with no exercise. So my mother was complaining na masyado akong payat and it didn't look like a healthy kind of payat. Sabi ni NJ, how often do you exercise in the evening? Every night po. Pero I vary it. I try to have some kind of aerobic exercise all the time, and that's usually walking or something like, there's like a dance routine that I do. And then, but I alternate it on every other day, merong weight-bearing exercises. Like I said, hindi pa po tumatalab because, I just got into the actual yung kaya ko ng daily, hindi na, I don't force myself, hinahanap na ng katawan ko. I'm already at that point where my body looks for it, pero, malaki pa rin ako. There's fat in places that I never realized could grow fat before. So now, we'll see if I can just keep at it and try to eat healthy. But yes, nag-IF ako ngayon. Usually, I just eat during lunchtime. Kaya pag nag-post ako, gano'n, usually yun yung one meal ko for the day. Now, if maraming meetings, doon ako nadadali. Kasi nakakahiya when somebody tries to feed you, tapos you don't eat. So, okay. Sabi ni Ma'am Tatiana, I miss watching you. Ayun na nga, so we can do this. Kung kakayanin ko, tiyak masyadong hinihingal, we can actually do this every day. So I save some time, I get my exercise in while I can still vlog. High fiber, low carb, low sugar diet, sabi ni Alin, I try. I can't say I'm always succeeding. Kaya kong i-diminish yung rice intake. I eat more vegetables. But once I'm faced with, yung at the end of the meal, nagka-crave na ako ng sugar. So I'm trying to get over that kind of craving. I'm still failing, but I hope someday magsasucceed ako. Sabi ni RJ, green leafy vegetables. Yes, actually. I already gave instructions dun sa cook namin. And even when I'm the one who's making the meals, then I try to incorporate as much green leafy vegetables. We have a bunch of salad dressings now para at any time nakakapag salad to fulfill at least yung daily requirement for green leafy vegetables. Right now, ang speed ko, Ma'am Vilma, is 3 kilometers per hour, 3.2 kilometers per hour. But that's because I'm vlogging. But when I'm not, I'm at 4.2 kilometers per hour lang. Sabi ni Ma'am Kichi, very late na po pala kayo mag-exercise. I know. But kasi I spent the afternoon reading and occasionally vlogging. But, if I do my exercise first, aantokin na ako to vlog. And I really wanted to just keep in touch with everybody and see what everybody's up to. Sabi ni Jo, Cynthia, put vinegar in my rice habang sinasain. Does it work? And does it affect the flavor? I wanna know. What time daw do I wake up in the morning and what my morning routine is? Normally, I wake up, if I get to sleep at my usual time, which is about 8 o'clock, I wake up at 2. Yeah. I wake up at 2 or 2:30, and then I read for karambola. But today, I read in the afternoon. I got caught up on the daily events. So and then the problem was, yun nga, she had to be taken to the vet. So, ngayon na ako nakapag-exercise. And malilate na ako sa bedtime ko. Late na ako sa bedtime ko. Bakit parang sumasayaw ka? Sabi ni Joey Garcia. What do you mean sumasayaw? I'm walking. Sabi ni Kichis, after niyan, sure masarap tulog niya. Yes, pero pag high pa yung adrenaline, it takes a while to calm it down. Sabi ni Brian, have you been able to replace white rice with brown rice? Yes. Di ko kaya, matigas eh. Actually, you have to soak it first. I really like the red rice, the black rice varieties. Whenever I go up north, pag umaabot ako sa Banda Nueva, ganyan, marami nang nabibila na iba-ibang rice varieties. To cook it, you have to soak it first for yung iba, 30 minutes to an hour bago mo talaga isain. And then, yun, hindi na siya matigas pag kinain. Sabi ni Sir Francis, maganda, moderate exercise, liwas saging skill. Agree ako dyan. Sabi ni Ma'am Mia, what about running? I think kasi it causes too much damage. I would run if I had to, like if I was in a sport. Like if I was playing basketball again, running can't be avoided. I would do it then. Sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, I live in a gated community. What I do is I walk. Samsung has an app where it counts the steps that I have walked. Ideally 5K dapat, but I go beyond. However, due to my health issues, I stop. I think that we should move. Basta may movement. Basta you don't allow your muscles to atrophy because it's very, very dangerous. Also, inactivity tends to make us depressive. So, I'm hoping that kahit paano we're setting a good example or we're getting people to move a little and for everybody's health. You know that if we're sickly as citizens, we tend to overload the health system, and it's already overloaded even as we speak. So a healthy citizenry, healthy members of society, we tend to be more productive, also a little happier, less prone to complaining. And so it's good for everybody. We also, if we're healthier, we also are able to help people more. So that's why I really like everybody to get involved in making themselves healthier. But I won't sermonize, I won't tell you na, at dapat ganito gawin nyo or interfere in your diets or anything like that. I just want you to all do whatever it is you think is going to make you move and get more exercise, so get more movement into your system. Even as I know that you're all very busy or that there's things that you would rather be doing than that. May pagkakataon pa ba tayong ma-develop ang iri natin? Actually, IRI is a research institute, and we don't need to develop it because it's very good. It's the only kind in the world, sorry. Hi. It's the only kind of institute in the world, and it has done an enormous amount of research. Unfortunately, it's executing that research. It's available to us. We can use it. Pero hindi parating nagagamit. Like, there are very few people who invest in agriculture, and even if they do, there's a tendency now for people to like monopolies. Now, in any industry in this country, if you're going to notice, those who are pioneers or those who invest a lot in it, they want virtual monopolies. Look at yung tinatawag natin mga oligarchs. They like public utilities. They like government contracts and so on. And they like to be monopolizing, cornering a particular industry or particular service. And I think they don't really like competition, so they tend to get lazy, they tend to becomes more expensive and so on. So the idea is to get more people invested in agriculture or in the research that it really produces para there's competition and prices are driven down and we get better services and we get better products. That's the idea. Now the president has already seen this. That's why he asks people to invest in the Philippine economy. And he's finally, if you notice, he's finally talking about small, micro, medium scale industries and giving out loans. Of course, it's still in the context of ito, yung jeepney strike, and getting more jeepney drivers to be involved in other economic activities instead of driving their jeeps or being operators of these outdated jeepneys. And this is the good approach. In fact, this approach was already set up in the previous administration. They were offering test scholarships and so on. But when the agency itself has problems with corruption and inefficiency, the best laid plans of mice and men, di ba, sabi nila, they go awry. So now, binibigyan uli ng pansin ni President Marcos what has already been begun in the Duterte administration. So hopefully, mas maganda yung transition natin to modernization. Now back to IRI, sorry, I digress. So we don't need to develop IRI. IRI is it is doing the appropriate research. What we need to do is get more people to invest in agriculture. Can I share my hair care products? Hair care products. Bakit biglang nag-feedback ako? Wait lang. Yun, wala. Okay, hair care products. Actually, hindi ako mapili sa shampoo, but I dress my hair afterwards with, oil? I forgot what you call it. It's not tea tree oil, but argan oil. That's all I do. Yes, any shampoo, but I condition and then argan oil. Sabi ni Sir Francis, yes, healthy citizenry dapat promote ng DOH yan. Obesity increased in the Philippines ng pandemic, 1/3 ng adult population overweight to obese. Yes, and the danger is when it's the kids who start becoming obese. So the obese children tend to become obese adults, tuloy-tuloy yan. And then it's harder, pag tumaba ka na, it's harder to lose weight. Diba? So if we inculcate in them healthy eating habits and so on, we have a chance. We risk things like heart disease, even certain cancers if you really eat correctly, and so on. So, I think I'm going to bulabog again yung National Nutrition Council natin. We do have one. It's connected to the DOST. But, yun nga, we hope na, bakit ganun? Ah, yan, it's my mic. Yeah. So, I hope na we'll be able to develop a healthier citizenry very, very soon. Pinagtutuunan naman po ito rin ng pansin ng ating ng ating DOH, but alam niyo yun, they tend to get busy with other things. I was looking for the volume that I can turn off. Wait lang. Yun. Okay. Pao Chief Acosta said, sabi ni Cyclops, na that hindi na nila bibigyan ng abogado yung mga frat members, pwede bang bagawin ng PAO yun? If hindi nila afford ng private lawyers, paano yung you have the right to an attorney? Okay. Ang reason po ni PAO Chief is, feedback pa rin. Wait, hold on. Okay. Sorry, nag-feedback lang tayo ng konti and I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off. Okay, pero yung sabi ni Pao Chief is, hindi nila bibigyan ng abogado yung mga fratmen because nauna na silang konsultahin nung complainant, yung family ng victim. So, meron na po silang conflict of interest. At of course, si Pao Chief couldn't resist and said na gagawa-gawa kayo ng krimen tapos tatakbo kayo sa amin. Which I understand the sentiment behind this kasi syempre nakakagalit naman talaga yung krimen na ito. And hindi natin, we can't help sometimes being overwhelmed by these emotions. Still looking for my volume switch. Bakit ganun? Bakit may feedback pa rin? Naririnig niyo po ba yung feedback? Ayun, wala na naman. Mga attorneys na lang yata ang magtatanggol sa sarili nilang students sa Adamson. Hindi kasi, law fraternity itong, Tau Gamma. And in fact, what they're saying is that they're a community-based fraternity. Or at least yun ang sinasabi ni Adamson. One of the issues that Adamson is bringing up or tends to bring up is their defense. Sinasabi nila na they did their job, binawal nila yung fraternities, and now what they're saying is that wala na kaming kasalanan, sinabihan na namin sila. Bawal lang frats, pero lumabag sila dun sa luna yan, so we no longer have any liability. We will see what the judge will have to say about that. I don't think that it's an acceptable excuse kasi they knew that if it is proven that they knew that the fraternities existed despite being banned by the administration, then kahit paano may liability pa rin sila. Pag naka-on po, siguro huwag yung not muted ang other device. Muted na po kasi itong isang device eh. So, I am looking for the volume switch and ayaw niya mag-turn off yata. Ewan ko may problema talaga itong Apple ko. Ay, nalayin pa rin. Bakit ganun? Okay. Should be off. Bakit ganun? Weird. Okay. I'm truly weirded out by what's going on here. Okay, anyway. If you can still hear me, hindi nyo naririnig yung feedback, we can continue. Oo, obese kami ng kapatid ko ng 2020, sabi ni Summer. So, 2021, Keto and cardio kami full year, ayun, payat. December 2021, started to lift weights for upper body strength and muscles. Ay, congratulations. We really should celebrate yung mga ganyang klaseng victories because it's not easy talaga to lose weight, ha? Nakakaano yan. Nakakabahala yan. Speaking about getting healthy, sabi ni Dennis Malabed, wala ata akong naririnig ng mga bonggang program sa health department tulad ng panahon ni FEM na ang daming sports at health programs. Hindi lang yan, di ba, mag-exercise tayo tuwing umaga was actually a song. And, and ini-encourage, in fact, as kids, after the flag ceremony, we had to do exercises or some kind of calisthenics to get moving in the morning. So it was something like what they were trying to do was inculcate healthy habits like this. And ako, I appreciated that. I'm hoping that there will be some kind of program nga ulit. Pero as you know, aligaga yung ating DOH still dealing with the pandemic and then the periodic outbreaks of things like measles, mumps, rubella, and all that. Periodic po yan lumalabas, and including things like dengue. So medyo na-overwhelm sila sometimes. Ayun. Okay. Masyadong malapit sa, ano ko, sa, masyadong malapit dun sa phone ko yung, yung iPad. Okay. Nakapanood na po ba kayo ng MOM? Hindi pa po, parang nag-usap na kami ni Direct Daryl as to when I'm going to be able to, to watch it. Wala talagang oras. Speaking about, pa-hijack ko, bakit di na regular ang uploading ni Play ng Karambola? Sabi ni Ace. Okay, ganito po yon. We have a new social media team sa DWIZ, and what they're doing is they're ini-edit nila yung Karambola to take out the ads. So, pagka natanggal nila yung ads, saka lang nila ma-upload. So, sabi nila, tomorrow, maayos na daw po lahat. Okay rin yun, para kang umaakyat. Mas nice ata yung effective, sabi ni Dato. Okay lang ba mag-exercise ng gabi? Ang alam ko, malakas ang tibok ng puso pag natutulog ng pagod. Hindi po dapat actually mabilis mag-recover. Your health, a healthy heart, can recover immediately from strenuous exercise. So, I don't think it's really that. Yung iba kasi, because of the surge of, happy hormones, find it difficult to sleep. Speaking din daw po of health, I hope DOH and PBBM would hear the group of doctors named CDCPH. They have a lot to share po regarding COVID vaccines and correlation sa excess deaths. Yung mga ganyan, we have to wait for the DOH to recognize them. Kasi nga, di ba, it became an issue during the pandemic na kailangan one direction ng lahat because it was very, very dangerous for people to speculate on the science habang nasa kasagsagan ng pandemic. I think now that it's not as problematic as before, pwede nang makinig ang DOH. So, I'll be waiting for the DOH's response first on that one. Sa kaputol daw, sabi ni Mami, sige, sabihan ko sila about that one also. Although I did mention it, at sabi nila, check it out daw tomorrow kung okay na. Ginagawa kong 10,000 to 20,000 steps before or after matulog. Mas okay po yata sa running. Kasi pag running, nagagutom daw si Datu Ron. Sabi ni Mami, nakakailang steps ka natin. Well, yung iba kasi yung workout steps at saka iba yung steps dun sa regular day ko. So, in the regular course of the day, hindi pa ako in workouts nila. Bakit nagagalan? Ayan. Dami kong nasasanggan, no? Yun. So, nakaka 5,000 steps naman ako in the regular course, tapos plus part of the workouts. The workout is actually for the extra steps. Maybe sabang kayo nanonood kaya Terry, pwede yung gawin niya, that's good. Sabi ni Ma'am Terry. Summer sale, sabi ni King Romeo Alves, yun pala yung nabasa ko na kanina. So, regarding dyan sa vaccine, sa US, mga Republicans hindi nagpa-vaccine. Okay. Pag malakas daw kasi tibok ng puso, sabi ni Diam, habang natutulog, pwede maging sanhi ng bangungot, narinig ko lang yan. As far as I know, yung bangungot is pancreatic in nature, hindi po yan sa heart rate. Sabi ni MJ Sanchez, what time do you sleep? Always sleep. Hindi nga po eh, ang normal sleeping time ko 8 o'clock. Kaya lang nangyari kanina, napaaway si Yoshi dito kay Sir Bruce. So had to be taken to the vet para to get stitches. So medyo na-interrupt yung regular schedule ko. I should have been asleep at 8 o'clock, but because of everything that's happened today, late na. Normally, nakikita niyo ako nagpo-post sa gabi, ibig sabihin, gising na ako by that time. Mas madaming gym paggabi, kaya okay lang mag-workout paggabi, sarap na matulog. Pwede. Sana nga maraming 24-hour gyms kung meron malapit dito eh. Doon na lang ako. Kaya lang, sayang, kasi I have so much equipment already here at home. I have weights, I have, ano yung tawag doon? So you can do bench presses. And then I have a thing that you can do slat pull downs and other stuff. Oo, so si Ma'am yung nag-worry siya kay Yoshio po. Under observation na lang daw po siya, pero he's getting stitches na tonight. He has to be sedated. So, yun nga, that's why most of us are still out here because we're worried about him. Although it doesn't look naman that bad, yun nga lang, he still has to be kept for observation. Anong outfit ko bukas daw sa karambola, sabi ni Albert. Di pa ako nagde-decide. In fact, I'll decide after this. Ayan. So, ayaw magpatay nga ng speaker ko eh. For some reason dito. How do I turn off ng speaker on the iPad? Talaga nag-crowdsourcing pa ako, no? Bakit ganun? Hindi ko mahanap yung volume. Kasi yung volume switch dito sa taas, it's gone as far back as it already goes. Ay, bakit ganun pa rin? Nawala na. Hi. So, yan. Let me just check your comments again. May problema talaga itong feedback na. I don't know where to turn off the speaker here eh. Earphones. Dapat mag-earphones naman. See you tomorrow sa show. Nakaka-worry yung nangyari sa US, sabi ni Dr. Ron regarding sa indoctrination sa mga schools. Early transgender, tapos no gender early age, tapos meron silang sariling pronouns, depends sa feeling. Sana di umabot dito. Alam mo, I think it might take a while bago umabot yan sa atin. I think that being a more conservative society, medyo mahihirapan sila to yung para umabot yung ganyan dito. Yun. Ayan. This should make sure na wala ng feedback. Yun. Alright, meanwhile, back at the ranch. So, yun na nga.
Kapag sinabing Batangas, marami tayong Chinese.
Bakit na ito? Ano na naman ang pumipindot? Ano ba to? Ayan na, it's hard talaga to manage your controls habang naglalakad. But, let me check the comments here. Yan. Sabi ni Dato Ron, sana nga po, baka kung mapasa ang SOGI bill, dyan mag-start. Actually, I don't think we should even be afraid of the SOGI bill. Unless may ipasok sila ng mga ganon na you're talking about pronouns and so on. Hindi pa ready. We have to be ready. I think what the SOGI bill really is going to do is only to afford rights also for practical purposes. So for example, same-sex partnerships don't have to be recognized as marriages, pero i-allow naman natin na yung mga, what do you call this? Yung mga participants, yung mga partners in a same-sex relationship, they can inherit from each other or they can give, they're empowered to give their consent kapag merong mga life-saving measures that have to be taken. Yung consent para maoperahan and so on. Yeah. Sabi ni PD, hello, nakakapagod naman yan walking while vlogging and talking. Well, ganyan talaga ang buhay. Di ba? Mahirap naman din kasi if we don't save time. Eh. Yun. Ayan, nawala na yung aking yung troublesome na feedback. Okay? Sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, taking a bite of the onion rings of Army Navy, Burger King pa rin for the win. Opo, pero manipis pa rin yung 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 onion rings ng it's the same size pero manipis yung onion sa loob ng breading. Sabi ni Dennis, kakain ka ba after yung exercise mo? Hindi po. Healthy lifestyle for vlog now. Kailan po kaya yung food vlog? Sabi ni Ian, malapit na. Actually, hindi ko pa kasi maikwento yung mga gagawin natin in the future, but suffice it to say, we're ready for a better experience for you, not just here sa mga live natin, but we're expecting more programs also sa DWIZ, and in other media, in other forms of media. Sabi ni Sir Anthony, sorry, out of topic, wala na po kami mapanood sa Karambola sa YouTube. Actually, kaka-explain ko lang po na bago yung social media team namin sa DWIZ, and what they're doing is after Karambola, they edit out all the ads. So medyo mabagal pa sila ngayon, but starting tomorrow daw, you should see a difference dun sa pag-upload sa YouTube. If hindi pa rin, please let me know and I will make ulit. Wag lang sana yung fast food na mukbang. Alam niyo, hindi ko talaga kaya yung mukbang. Although I feel that I eat so much already. Kahit hindi mo pa rin tawagin mukbang, mukhang nagmumukbang na to. Sabi ni Sane, I bet ko, nagte-treadmill habang nag-vlog. Kakapasok ko lang, late na kami. Okay, most of the conversation has been about exercise. So, sige. But what I wanted to talk about, just is that I hope everybody tries to give everybody some space to air their opinions. Hindi mo ba napapansin that parang people don't like to hear other people expressing opinions that are different from theirs? So, halimbawa, this whole business with loyalists and pures and so on, I think it's ridiculous, sa totoo lang. A democracy requires, the better to exercise your freedom, we should be accepting of different kinds of opinions. Now, we can correct people, or we should normalize correcting people when their facts are not right, but we do not correct opinions. And why do you get angry over people calling out the government? We did it in the Duterte administration. We called out former President Duterte's cabinet officials. We called out even some of his policies. There's some things that I didn't agree with him, but that didn't take away my admiration for him as a president, nor did it affect his popularity. So, ang point ko dito is, it seems that some people are very afraid of certain opinions that are being expressed. And why is that? Why are you afraid? Or even worse, why are you labeling people? I don't like the idea of labels. Yung pures, loyalists, and so on. Can't we just be citizens with different kinds of opinions? Alam nyo, I have so many friends on social media with all different opinions. And it bothers me sometimes when people say, huwag kang tumabi dyan. Bakit nandyan sa grupo mo si so-and-so? Bakit kasama dun sa meeting? Sa chikahan ninyo with Senator, si Sas. Yung mga ganyan. Why? Are you choosing my friends for me now? Are you trying to limit my right to be associated or to form associations or even friendships with other people? Where is this coming from? Where is this entitlement coming from that we cannot express opinions that may differ from yours? And where is this na hindi kayo belong sa amin kasi iba yung opinion mo? Fine, I don't want to belong in any group that is so willing to exclude people simply on their beliefs. It just bothers me sometimes that we think that this is normal and we think that we should accept these things. I don't think we should. I think that we should hear more diverse opinions, hear other people out. We don't have to like them. But we shouldn't restrict other people from liking them either. I don't know, it just seems to me so much interference. Sometimes, unfortunately, may glitch pa rin yung LUMINOUS, post something, and somebody says, bitter ka lang kasi because so-and-so. Or, kasi yan ang nangyayari pag kinakaibigan mo yung mga katulad din na so-and-so. I actually have more friends than most people see, and they come from all walks of life and different political opinions as well. And you know what? The president never asked me to stop being friends with anyone. It was never a condition. And in fact, the president himself is the most tolerant of many people that I know. Pero siya. We're not happy with certain things like the cabinet is doing and so on. He doesn't get mad when people express their opinions. He gets bothered when those opinions are unfair. Pero, yung people expressing na, we think this is wrong, we think we should do this, if said respectfully and with the interests of the country in mind, he doesn't mind. And it doesn't take away from his popularity because I think this is where it's coming from. I think some people are afraid. And that means they don't trust this president. They don't think that the government is stable. It is. And we should trust this president. We elected him eh. Pero this fear of hearing other opinions, this fear of other people expressing opinions that are different from theirs, this fear of not being associated properly, this fear of associating yourselves with the wrong people, or, God forbid, sitting next to somebody whose opinions you differ from, where is this fear coming from? And if this fear is coming from a mistrust in the stability of this government, then you have no right to call yourself loyal to this president or loyal to the Marcos family or loyal to anything at all except your fear. It's terrible, I think, I just feel badly about it. And normally, I don't speak out like this. It's, okay, live and let live. But sometimes, when you invade my wall, then I have to deal with the issue. Or you send me messages, or people send me private messages and say, or even post, bakit nandiyan si ganito? Bakit ganyan? And so on. Or bitter ka kasi. Can't I express an opinion without being accused of any other motive? Because wala naman tayong kikitain from expressing these opinions. But it certainly might help. It might help if the government receives feedback that's given to them in good faith. We want things to work. And if we're not seeing it work, then It's either we're not getting the right information and we're misconstruing what is going on, or we are right and the government should listen to us. Either way, we should be allowed to speak our piece. Sabi na, opposites attract. Sabi ni Sir Francis, pwede pink clouds. Oo, ibang usapan yan. I agree with you on that one. Kasi, with them, there's really no point in the discourse anyway. Pangit naman yung magkakaibigan na same ang opinions, wala nang pag-uusapan, sabi ni Dr. Ron. Totoo yan. And I like to also be friends with people who are experts in their field because then I have something to learn. But then you can learn from anybody because all our experiences are different. And, out of this fear, and because they identify certain people with certain kinds of opinions, kahit kunwari, minsan ka lang nag-criticize, i-label ka na. That's why I hate labels. Kasi you can't break out of it. Something you did 10, 20 million years ago, they'll still take it against you as if people don't evolve and people don't change and people don't grow and people don't learn. Naka-label ka na, hindi ka na makakatakas doon sa label na yun. And that goes against human nature and is instinctively, intrinsically unfair. So, sabi ni Dr. Ron, dami ko friends na anti-DDS, kahit maka-DDS ako. Hindi lang namin pinag-uusapan politics, kung magkakasama pa para walang away. Ayun, close pa rin. Same. I have friends from different religions, very different religions, and a lot of very diverse ones. I have been called a heretic, non-Christian, devil-worshipping, etc. because I study other cultures and I am accepting of the faiths of people who are not Christian. And their beliefs out there, I post them sometimes on my personal page, that will blow your mind. And I would like my mind blown constantly, challenged by the differences of these cultures, the differences of beliefs, breaking out of the paradigm of good versus evil, breaking out of the Christian, Judeo-Christian traditions and all that. But if you so much as express yourself in this, you get called things, you get called names. And I don't like that. It's the 21st century. We're supposed to be more understanding. We're supposed to be more tolerant. Are we moving backwards? With different labels now, we don't label people heretics anymore, but you label them pures. And what a terrible label that is, for crying out loud. Can't you think of something more original? Pures talaga? So, sabi ni Bumi, ganitong mindset niya tayo, bakit ko siya ina-admire. Nakakahawa yung pagiging open-minded. Thank you for making me a better human being. Uy, nahiya naman ako kay Bumi. It's, I don't know how to react to compliments sa totoo lang. Ito sabi ni Team Marcos. Same here, I have friends with different religions and political views. And still, we are good friends and talk. Yan ang kagandahan ng diverse culture. Alam niyo ba, in an ecosystem, that the more diversity, the stronger that system. Same with a society with different beliefs. The more tolerant, the more ideas, the more accepting we are, the faster the development. Remember, they laughed at Galileo for subscribing to the heliocentric model of Copernicus. He was called a heretic. He was told to stop. But in the end, 600 years later, Catholic Church apologizes and says, okay, we're reinstating Galileo now. Oops, we made a mistake. 600 years later, if we had been more tolerant, can you imagine how quickly science would have developed? Sabi ni Tony Baldo, that's why it's called an opinion kasi not necessarily based on facts or knowledge. So dapat opinions should be respected. Yeah, for example, feelings. Feelings are neither right nor wrong. So if you feel that if somebody is angry, understand the anger, understand the emotion, understand the hurt that it's coming from. But when that person, in being angry, harms you or hurts you in turn, that's a different matter. Then your anger might mitigate it, but it doesn't take away from the wrong that you've done. Ayun. Hindi ba mas nakakatuwa when we respect the diversity of opinion? Hindi ba mas at hindi ba it also makes this government stronger if you don't have a bunch of sycophants saying hallelujah to everything that you're doing. Hallelujah, what you're doing is right. Because it's not always going to be right. And that's why I think the Duterte administration was so strong because they let us talk, they let us rant, they let us get angry with certain members of cabinet. Remember the original Chaleco. Remember how we felt about the DOF secretary, about the Department of Agriculture secretary. Uh, you, so many others. There's some people who didn't like the special assistant to the president. Did President Duterte ask us to stop talking? No. But if there were opinions that were unfair, he would answer them back. So what's wrong with that? Sabi ni Sir Albert, may mga tao talaga makitid ang utak, di marunong rumispeto sa opinion ng ibang tao. Ang importante buo at solido ang pagkakaibigan. Yun na nga. Now with those others who are commenting, who were never our friends, okay lang, kiber, cool. Pero minsan, it affects you because napaka-unruly at saka napaka-undisciplined ng pag-iisip. And even worse, napaka-unfair ng mga ini-express na opinions under the guise of saying na mali kami, that we are anti-Marcos. Ako pa talaga, sasabihan nyo na anti-Marcos, naluloko na ba kayo? Or guilt by association. Hindi naman anti-Marcos yan si Atty. Fix, pero kasi parati niyang kasama sina Pebbles, tapos kaibigan na niya si Maharlika, or ayan, kaibigan niya yan si Twisette Chu, or kaibigan niya si Sas. Kaya pero ba kayo, sino kayo para magsabi kung sino magiging kaibigan ko? Why? Has that affected any of our thinkings? Ang lalakas ng mga isip ng mga kaibigan ko. So they're not affected by me, and I'm not affected by their stances either. And I express opinions that are different from theirs. So what? Kailangan mali kaming lahat. And that's the problem with guilt by association, is it doesn't make a distinction. Whether you did something wrong or not, you're guilty just because you're always with that person. Hindi po totoo yung I'll tell you tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. That's bull frigging shit. Shoot. Hindi ako pwede magmura. But I think it's pure BS. You know why? Because it takes away facts and allows immediate judgment. There's no due process. There's no opportunity to show yourself, to show who you really are, in spite of the people that you associate with. No, it's a shortcut. Masamang tao yan, kasi katabi niya, parati, yung masamang tao yun. Ano yun? Osmosis? Guilt by osmosis? Badness by breathing the same air? Sabi ni Ma'am Tatiana, I love your group of friends, attorney and tatapang. True, and I have so much respect for them. Sabi ni Liam, yung iba loyalista sa mga vloggers na ata nangyayari. Kung ano yung sinasabi na pinapanood nilang vlogger, sasangayon na sila. Yung mga totoong Marcos loyalist, nagre-relax lang sila, chill-chill lang. Sa akin nga, I don't care if you're a loyalist or anything like that. What I care about is that you have something important to say, or something to say that is, that allows me to learn, expand my mind. And that's why I have the friends that I have. Because I'm always learning from them. And you know what? There are people who are older than me, there are people who are younger than me, there are people who are my age, there are people who are professionals and some who are not. And it's all the same to us. We're all still friends. It doesn't matter. And in fact, it didn't matter when I was in government. It didn't matter that I was not in government. Walang nangyari. Nobody skipped a beat. And those are the kind of friends that you want. Those are the kind of people whom you should be listening to. You don't have to believe them. But at least open up your mind enough to understand that they have something important to say. Kinukulit ako na natapos na daw yung workout ko because I went past my goal for the day. Ano ko nga, di pa tapos. sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, but the problem is some people do not have the ability to form their own opinions. Case in point, people who are easily swayed by what their movie idols tell them, ilan kaya ang lagoyo ni Angel Locsin? Well, that's actually a good point, which is why that's our obligation now. We're put on this earth to make the world better. And if we can make it better by helping other people understand better, then why aren't we doing that? If we have the ability to express our opinions and post those opinions on social media, can't we post something that helps people? Can't we post something that makes for better understanding instead of cutting other people down? Instead of going online and ranting and raving and being angry and spreading all that hate around, all that negativity around, can't we just figure out a way so that people are kinder to each other? Or to make it so that there's room for better understanding even in spite of our differences or probably because of it. I don't get it. There's so much opportunity to do good and you're ignoring it. Not you. And then there are people who deliberately choose to ignore it. I don't get it. Sabi ni Rain on me. I agree. Regarding our understanding people's opinions, especially politics, it's the time that we need to expound ourselves, that we are living in a world that is so diverse. Wake up, people. You know that. So, yeah, I'm so glad that so many of you get it. And I'm hoping, I know that there's some people here who align themselves with precisely the same people who call us pures. Pero they're here, they're open-minded, they're willing to exchange ideas, and I love that. I love that the diverse political opinions are bridges to understanding instead of actually becoming walls for each of us. Because you know why it's important for me? One of the reasons is that the Philippines already is super dejado in terms of finding unity. We're separated by islands, separated by language, separated by religion, and now separated by levels of education and understanding, the separated by income, class, educational achievements, attainments, and we're not doing anything about it. Now, years ago, before the Spaniards colonized the country, the seas between our islands were looked at as bridges, not as a means to separate us, but highways in bridging each other's, that we were able to trade among ourselves. The diverse peoples within the country were able to trade. There were different kingdoms, different states within this country. We didn't become a country until much later on, but we were trading and warring with each other and so on. But the seas were ways to connect and not ways to divide. Years and years later, they become divisive na to us. Years and years later, after Diego Silang was able to bridge the language and ethnic gap and unite diverse, three different ethno-linguistic groups into the first revolution in this place, we're still unable to do the same thing. Maybe the things that divide us now are more difficult to bridge. Differences in educational attainment, for instance, is very divisive to us. It's so hard to make people understand when you yourself are newly opened. you see things a certain way because you've received an education and you already know about philosophies. You already have depth of understanding, but being confronted with somebody who doesn't have the same kind of exposure divides us. I see it every day. Sabi ni King, yung ibang Marcos Duterte supporters wala namang pakialam sa awayan na yan. Chill lang sila. Kung feeling na toxic na environment sa politics, labas muna kayo at maghanap ng ibang pagkakaabalahan. Well, I'm talking today because I'm staying despite the toxicity because I think that I can do something about it. Sabi ni BF, some loyalists, they are just loyal to the person. It's not the same as being loyal to Pinas. I agree. I think that it's something you also have to understand. It's okay to be loyal to a family, to people, that's okay. You're the one who make yourself loyal to them, you're the one who binds yourself to them, okay. But it should never be primary over the love of country, over making sure that our countrymen are doing better. Hi, Casey Francis A. DJ Byron Music and Topic TV. Yung ibang loyalists ba masasabi natin na overprotective or sobrang sensitive? Well, I don't know about, okay lang kasi overprotective eh. Understandable yan. Pero, what are we protecting him from? Diba? What are they protecting the president from? From bad opinions? Isn't it that he should be hearing this? So that if in case those opinions are correct, should want to be able to change course. He's the captain of the ship. Okay? If somebody says, sir, there's an iceberg on the way, he can't afford to not listen. And if you're overprotective of him and you don't want him to hear anything bad, we will run into that iceberg. Right? So, the feeling of overprotectiveness, okay, I understand, and it's good. Actually, he needs that. We all need that. But to protect him from an opinion that might save the country, that is not only unpatriotic, it's treasonous. Sad but true, sabi ni Roy Joss. Hope people realize that not everything is basketball, one team versus the other. Oo nga, it shouldn't be like that. Okay, naka 1 hour na ba tayo? More than 1 hour already. Means I've been on the treadmill for over an hour. Thank you very much for letting me rant. I apologize. Hindi ako masyadong nakatake ng questions. Well, I haven't been seeing much. But I hope that my rant somehow, it makes you think lang. I don't ask you to always agree with me. That's not going to be possible. There's some of my opinions are really weird. But maybe it can make you think. And a lot of the things you tell me, they make me think too. And nobody here is supposed to be screaming hallelujah all the time. I like to hear your different point of view. I like to, as long as we don't argue angrily, I like to just bat it back and forth. What about this? What about this? And so on. Please challenge us. We should be looking forward to these kinds of exchanges. Sabi ni Albert, tulog na. Magka-12 na. Oo nga eh. Maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay sa live natin ngayon. At maraming salamat sa lahat ng padala ng stars at saka ng padala ng super chat and super stickers. Thank you very, very much. And for everybody who has a kind thought for us and includes us in their prayers, thank you very, very much also. We always appreciate it. So, huwag pong kalimutan, like and share, follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sige na please, para umabot na kasi hindi ako makahinga eh. Palapit na siya sa 100,000. Tapos hindi ko na, alam mo yun, pagka malapit na dun sa 100,000, hindi ka na makahinga. Okay? Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. And for those who are just starting their day, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me in my exercise. It really helped.